Hey guys, welcome to another video on my channel. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the Shotgun Rhino. So the Shotgun Rhino is a Rhino equipped with Storm and Gust weapons. I actually did a variation of this build on the Griffin. Let me just look to see what's going on the right side here. I think I'm going to move to the right side because we do need this beacon here. So I'm going to sacrifice my Fury to get this beacon because no one else is going this way. But as I was saying, I did do a variation of this on the Griffin, and it wasn't that bad. But then after I did that, many of you asked me to run it on a Rhino, so I figured, okay, let's do it on the Rhino and see how well we do with that. So this is the problem. No one went for this beacon. I'm just going to see if I can sacrifice myself to get that, and this will allow me to drop in with this build. So this is the Shotgun Rhino. I'm going to try to see if I can maybe charge this guy here. With this build, you need to try to get as close to your opponent as possible. Okay, so I'm going to back off here because there's a Fury back there, and I don't want to engage because he's going to shoot me from the side. And I'm not sure if this player here has Orkans. If he does, I'm going to be in trouble. But yeah, when using this build, whether it be the Storm, the Thunder, the Gust weapons, you need to get, I would say 150, 100 meters to your opponent at least, in order to do any kind of significant damage to them. One thing that I do like about this build is obviously you have the physical shield. Now that allows you to put the shield up and just block someone like the Lancelot that's in front of me here, because I can block their plasma and just bull rush them, and then eventually get close enough where I can drop the shield and hit them with everything. So there's always that. The downside to the Rhino though, because you are going so close, we're talking like 100 meters or so, like even 200 meters from your opponent, that is the range, or within the range of Orkans. Now, if you're going to engage someone who has Orkans, they are going to deliver damage quicker than you can actually deliver damage with this combo. So if they hit you, there's no way to actually escape. See how I'm trying to back off here behind my teammate, so that I can actually get that damage in. So now I'm hitting this Lancelot in front of me. All my weapons firing. Their shield is getting broken by my build here, or at least the Gust and Storm weapons. So that did a pretty good job. If this guy has Orkans though. Okay, so he's got the Ember. So now it doesn't really matter if I put my shield up. I might as well just keep on firing. But I just wanted to show you, the viability of that build. I think with the Griffin, I find it a lot more effective. But I'm probably going to be running another game with that, or at least with the Rhino Gust Storm weapons, and I guess we'll see how we'll do. But I'll be honest, I've run quite a few games here, and I'm actually struggling to get decent gameplay of this build, and that's usually an indicator of how strong a build is, at least in my eyes, because I run a lot of different builds, and it didn't take me long to get decent footage of the Griffin build. And I think one reason why is because if I encounter someone who has, say, Orkans, it's a lot easier to evade that than if I were to run the Rhino, because with the Rhino you charge them and then you see the Orkans and splash, and then you're like, uh-oh. And at that point it's too late, because you've taken on so much damage to the point where you have to engage. So I think that's one thing that I can say about the Rhino build. Maybe in the lower levels it might work. If you find like in your league that you're seeing a lot of Lancelots, or at least more Lancelots compared to, say, the dash bots, then I definitely think there may be some value in that, just like the Griffin. But in Champion League, which is the league I'm in, you see a lot of Lancelots, but I would say you see far more dash bots, the Balkazaris, the Hetchies. And the majority of the time you are running into Orkans and Tyrans and Ember and shock trains. So I would say the biggest thing, the biggest counter to what you would be running with the Rhino is the Orkans. The Orkans is going to be the biggest problem, because you can't evade that. There's no way to escape that, and by the time that you actually do some damage, you're most likely going to be taken out. So I think That's one thing that I can say about that build. But I just wanted to show you guys anyways, and I'll probably run another game just to try see if I can get you know, some better footage here. So I'll do that, and I really just wanted to show you guys because a lot of you were asking me about that build, and I guess you're wondering, you know, it may be more viable than the Griffin build, but in my opinion, it really isn't. You know, after running multiple games, the Griffin is definitely a lot better, so I think that's what I would run. Now, is it better than the Golem? Because I know there's the Golem as well. Ooh, I got hit by the side here. This guy hit me. Let's barbecue him up, because now there's no escape. And we have Roasted Carnage. So, yeah. So if you had to ask me, you know, which is better between the Golem build and the Rhino, that's a really tough call. I think if I had to choose, maybe the Rhino. Only because you have more speed. And I think that speed will help in getting those beacons. We've got a Death Button Griffin here. Decided to jump up. And I think this guy may be in a Hetchy or something. Trying to fire on the side here. In the hopes that I can do some damage to these guys. Ooh. Surprised that guy. Oh wait, there we go. I was going to say, I'm surprised that he has all his weapons still. Keeping an eye on this player here on the left side. It's actually 3 versus 4, and I'm trying to hold my ground for my team here. Trying to pull a 300, and there's a guy that's actually behind me. So I've got to be careful of him. Oh man, and it's a Leo. Come on, hug the wall, hug the wall. The wall is my friend. Okay, so this is going to be game number 1. You saw how I was able to use it against that, I believe it was a Lancelot. It didn't really do damage that quick. You got to keep in mind, if he had Thunder Orkans, I would probably be smoked. But that's one of the biggest threats, I think, to running this build. It can do a lot of damage if you can get close enough. And I think in the lower leagues, there is possibly potential in this build. But let's go ahead and let's run game number 2. Okay, so game number 2, we have dropped in on Dead City. This map, I will say, kind of favors actually the Shotgun Rhino. So it's going to be interesting to see how well we do here. Looks like we've got a Vox player on my team. I'm going to try to get this beacon here and defend it. I actually don't like staying in this Fury build on this map. If I can get my damage in, get a beacon perhaps, more often than not, I end up either playing more aggressively with it or actually just ditching it altogether. So let's get this beacon, and then I'm going to move closer towards center here. Oh man, no one got our home beacon. Okay, well, I guess I'm just going to, yeah, I'm going to play aggressively with this. That way I can spawn in at least and get that left beacon of ours. It's funny, they didn't get their beacon either. This is a weird game. Let's go ahead and let's see if I can take out that Lancelot there. Man, I'm brawling with this. I stopped the guy from getting his beacon. That's funny. So I'm just waiting here to load up because, well, I don't have any rounds left. We have a few players moving in this side. I'm trying to creep around the side here. Maybe get this Lancelot, break his plating on the front there if I can. Getting blown up from behind. And now I'm looking to see what those guys are running. You know what? I actually think some of them are running the Storm weapon, because it almost looked like they had a Balkazari there with Storm. So I'm going to rush on over this side. And maybe I will be able to actually get around here. I'm not sure what these guys are in. I know that they had a couple of Lancelots with the Answer Shield. We do have a player here, so I might get shot at from the left side. That's okay, because I'm going to engage this player here from up close. So there we go. I think that was a Balkazari. I don't even know what that player was in. He got smoked though. Backing up here. Gonna wait until my Storm and Gust weapons are loaded up. Okay, so we do have a player. This player here has Orkans. Take out that player. One thing actually nice about, you know, the Storm, the Thunder, and the Gust is if a player has a physical shield and they have enough range away from you, you know, the bullet spread can actually still hit them. Ooh. I don't actually want to go out into the open here because there's a Hetchy waiting back there. This El Santi has a Hetchy with Orkans, so I have to be very careful of that player there. And we just got a Griffin jumping here, and he did not see me at all. Man, this is a good run with this build. Mind you, you know, I've played so many games. You know, I cannot tell you how many. Just insane amount. Kind of debating on whether I should, you know, attack here on the right side, but I don't want to do that because I know he has Orkans and my teammate just fired. So he's definitely loaded up there, and I don't see any rockets being fired to the left side, which means he hasn't fired at all. Okay, so I think he might start firing here. So I'm gonna rush on the right side and see if I can engage a player here. Oh man, this is not the player I wanted to engage. Now I have to engage. I think I maybe should have sat back there and just defended. But anyways, that was, I think, a pretty decent run. Using the Rhino, the Storm, and the Gust weapon. So, I guess we might as well talk about my overall thoughts of that build. You know, using the Storm and the Gust on the Rhino. And maybe comparing it to the Griffin. So, my overall thoughts, I've played a lot of games. And by a lot, I mean a good couple of days where I've tried to actually get some decent footage. And I've actually found it very hard to get footage of that build. And like I said, you know, if I'm running so many games and I'm struggling to get footage of something, then that means that, you know, that build isn't that strong in Champion League. And, you know, you have to kind of keep in mind here, in Champion League, a lot of the players run heavy Tyrans, heavy Orkans, and heavy Dash. You know, there is the Ember as well that you have to deal with. But you have to kind of factor all of that into a play here. And, you know, when you factor that all in, it's not a build that I would run. I think if I had to choose, I would probably choose the Griffin. Because I find more often than not, it's just easier to engage. You know, it's easier to just jump and pounce on your opponent than to just charge them. Because if you do charge them, you're kind of charging blindly. You don't really know what your opponent may have. Trying to see if I can perhaps burn this Griffin up here. It's taking a lot of damage. Probably more than he wanted to. Okay, so we have a couple of players here on the side. And just burn this Griffin up. And then burn this Lancelot up as well. Another Griffin that just jumped over me. See if we can burn him up as well. Oh man. Come on. This guy decided to join the barbecue party. I have no idea how I survived that. Maybe it's because of my my Ansel shield. Actually no, because they had all plasma weapons. Let's try to see if I can barbecue some of those players up. And we have another Griffin here. This guy came with his marshmallows. Oh, come on. Well, I guess I got 2 Embers still. I'm gonna get smoked. I might as well try to fire something here. Get some damage in. How am I still alive? 3,000 health? Okay, I was just gonna say. I'm gonna bring out now my Lancelot with the Ember and Tyrans and see if I can get to this right side here. It looks like they are attacking. Ooh, this guy's got the same build as me. I'm gonna try see if I can help my teammate out here. So he's got the exact same build as me. And there's another player back there who has a Griffin. Trying to see if I can hit him. I think what yeah, I'm gonna move on the inner lane here. We have another player that's actually, oh man, the targeting. One thing that I noticed with the Ember weapon, and this is just for anyone who does own it, when it comes to the Ember, I find that if a player jumps, it's actually harder to hit them because of how it trails. So I think if you're a Griffin player and you do see a player that has the Ember weapon, a very good idea, if you can, is to actually jump and attack, because that will help you at least deal with the Ember, because the Ember can do a lot of damage. So anyways, in this game, I did score 1.3 million damage, and I was running the Rhino with the Gust and the Storm. And my final thoughts for this weapon, you know, I mentioned it throughout both games. Would I potentially, or would I actually run it in Champion League? And the answer to that is no. If I had to choose between this build and the Griffin build, the Griffin build with the Gust and the Storm is definitely stronger. The jump is just more handy, just like a Death Button Griffin. So I think if I had to choose it, go for the Griffin. And you know, if you happen to miss that video, I will put a link in the video description. And other than that, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And if you haven't yet subscribed, consider subscribing. Until the next video, I'll catch you guys later.